Donald Trump does not know that Rod Rosenstein, maybe he knows he went up to the Senate. Maybe he knows he made an appearance in a closed session with the Senate, okay, with the Senate Intelligence Committee members and I believe members of the Judiciary Committees. And in that meeting, after the senators emerged, they were asked questions, see? And one of the questions they were asked had to do with, what did Rod Rosenstein tell you? And some of them actually volunteered this little tidbit. Now, remember, the president said he's sticking to this story, that he fired James Comey based on Rod Rosenstein's very strong letter. Now he's connecting it to Comey's testimony on Capitol Hill last Wednesday, and that he felt it was bad and sad, and then combined with Rod Rosenstein's very strong memo about Hillary Clinton's emails, this is why he fired him. Except this is not what the senator said today.
Comey's dismissal because he is anxious to give wide latitude to Robert Mueller to make a determination as to where his investigation should go and what it should include. As a former prosecutor, I respect that decision. He did acknowledge that he learned Comey would be removed prior to him writing his memo.
What?
Say that again. He what?
He knew that Comey was going to be removed prior to him writing his memo.
Oh, snap. That was Claire McCaskill, who said Rod Rosenstein said he knew Comey was going to be fired, that it was a decision that was made prior to his writing the memo about his opinion of Comey's handling of Hillary Clinton's email. Now, Dick Durbin also came out and he was asked that question.
Based on what you heard, based on what you heard today, sir, do you believe that the Deputy Attorney General knew before he wrote that memo that James Comey was going to be fired?
Yes.
That's a yes. Do you believe Rod knew that Comey was going to be fired before he wrote the letter? Yes. Yes, I do. All right, let's try some Republicans. Let's see how honest they are. Let's do Lindsey Graham first.
He tasked to write that memo?
He did not. I'll let you ask him that question. Now that we have a special counsel about all things related to the process of the memo, I think you'll need to talk to Mr. Mueller about it. I got to go.
I got to go. All right. So he chooses not to lie, but he also chooses to pretend, he doesn't really. Well, I won't say that. Lindsey Graham just says, you know what? Ask him. Okay. So that's kind of kicking the can, ain't it? Okay. Here's Marco Rubio.
Is it your understanding that Rosenstein knew that Comey was going to be fired before he wrote his memo?
I'm not sure he addressed that with the level of clarity that most people wanted to hear. That's what Senator McCaskill said.
He's not sure. He doesn't know what he heard because he's Marco and he smokes pot and he gets cottonmouth and he just slams water, on national TV when given a shot to make the big rebuttal to Barack Obama's State of the Union. That's what he does. So let's just replay these little teeny tiny clips first. Okay. So Claire McCaskill says, oh, by the way, Rod told us that he wrote this memo about Comey after he learned that Comey was getting fired, and the president asked him to write something about how he felt about the handling of Hillary's email. The president didn't rely on Rod's recounting of the Hillary email story. Oh, no. The president was looking to divert the attention away from him wanting to fire Comey because of this, quote, Russia thing, which he tells Lester Holt was the reason. Okay, but let's review. Okay, this is the Lester Holt interview. This is why he fired Comey. Oh, I'm not playing it yet. Listen. So they said for 24 hours of a news cycle that the reason why Comey was fired is because Rod Rosenstein wrote a letter that said that Comey had treated Hillary so badly on the email thing. And so the president of the United States, according to Sean Spicer, according to Mike Pence, according to all his spokespeople, Kellyanne Conway, everybody that just spawned themselves on the TV that night, right? They all said, oh, no, he was relying on Rod. And Rod wrote this devastating memo about Comey. And that's why he took Rod's recommendation. He took Rod's recommendation. Then the next day, after he hosted the Russians and gave away some of Israel's deepest, closely held, code word protected intelligence about fighting ISIS in Syria, he goes on Lester Holt and says, it was really, I fired Comey. I was going to do it no matter what the recommendation was, because it's this Russia thing.
This Russia thing with Trump and Russia is a made-up story. It's an excuse by the Democrats for having lost an election. He's a showboat. He's a grandstander. The FBI has been in turmoil. You know that.
Okay, so you remember that. Everybody remembers that, because that's his kryptonite right there, okay? That he said, and the more I thought about it, I thought it was this Russia thing. So that's why he fires Comey. Today, he realizes that's obstruction of justice. I guess he's spoken to some lawyers, because he's going to need a whole bunch of them.